Hello and welcome. On behalf of Hudson's Bay and Breville, I want to welcome everybody to a summer masterclass. My name is Brian Miller. I'm the Director of Marketing at Breville Canada, and we are extremely lucky to have with us today chef, entrepreneur, television host, Kimberly Lallouz.
Hi.
Hi, Kim.
Welcome to my home.
Yes, we should mention we're in Kim's home. We had the intention to be outside on our beautiful terrace with the garden and the mint, but with the weather that's now beautiful, we decided to come inside into our equally beautiful kitchen. So thank you for having us.
Plucked all the herbs from upstairs, so it's kind of the best of both worlds.
We're ready. We're ready to go.
No rain on our parade.
So first of all, thank you for having us.
My pleasure.
And what have you been up to?
Well, aside from surviving the pandemic and flipping and reflipping and reorganizing and staying as positive as humanly possible, shooting some really fun squawk and gobble for goal initiatives with Paul. Got to check in on mental health, keeping in check with my staff and my family, staying healthy.
Awesome.
You?
Oh, similar. Actually, that's how we first connected. The Goal Foundation's doing amazing things for mental health, and especially reaching out to chefs in the Montreal area. That's been a tough time. Yes, that's how we first met. Squawk and Gobble was a fun series. But now we're here, and thanks to Hudson's Bay for giving us the platform to do a little masterclass on summer cooking as part of our whole healthy living campaign, we're calling it, with blenders, with juicers, with a word we made up called bluicing. And what we thought we'd do today, we have a half an hour. It's lunch. Hopefully you stay with us. Very quickly, we're going to go through some really cool recipes that Kim's been nice enough to share with us, so you can get those. But more than the recipes, she's going to share some really cool culinary knowledge that's going to help us raise our game. And then hopefully you get to see why you might want a blender or a juicer or that thing I called the Bluicer. So hopefully that all comes out. Just quick housekeeping, there are people from Breville and Hudson's Bay on the chat. Questions, fire them away, you'll get quick answers. At the end, if we have time, we'll put a few to Kim if we really want the chef to address. And other than that, we are ready to go. So initially we called our little subtitle of this series, Outside,
Masterclass,
fresh and mostly healthy.
Yeah, I'm mostly healthy because we're starting
with a cocktail.
That's right. As I always like to do, to take the edge off for the rest of the show.
Exactly.
Whether that's a mocktail or a cocktail, I should add. So we're gonna start with we're gonna make some juice.
Yes.
This is my favorite piece, my new piece of the year. This is the Bluicer. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna basically turn it on, start juicing some watermelon. So we're gonna make watermelon juice with lime and mint.
Yep.
And then you'll see. Well, you know already.
Well, you go.
They'll see. So I'm just gonna use my hands are nice and clean.
Perfect.
Excuse me. So we're gonna go ahead and get this going on soft because we really don't have to put it on. Here, you wanna give me a hand?
Yeah, so you put the top back on.
Yep, well, I'm just gonna get everything in there.
There we go.
One thing that I noticed is that it's such a quiet machine.
Yeah, juicing and blending can be loud. We always try to make it as less loud as we can.
I could also just pick this up while you're there helping me.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what we're doing is we're juicing.
There we go.
So I'll just explain quickly. This is the Bluicer 3X Pro, as Kim said. We're using it as a juicer. We are juicing. We have this variable speed to get just the right extraction we want. This is a relatively soft fruit, so we didn't go too hard. And now we have some nice, pure
watermelon juice in the blender jug already. With the attachments, nothing spills out. It's such a pleasure to work with. I'm also gonna take this mint that I grew on my terrace and pop it in leaves, stems, the whole kit and caboodle. I'm doing it second. I'm gonna finish with the limes just to make sure if there's any extra little.
So your juice, okay, cool.
I'm juicing my mint.
Do you want
with
it
the
a
stems.
lot of torque, or do you want it softer?
I want torque. Give me lots of torque. I also, we're gonna pop those limes in there too. They're peeled.
Okay.
The white is removed. We don't want it to be bitter. Whoop.
Just make sure we cover
Yep.
it. There you go.
And I didn't get that. There we go. Can you smell that already? The mariage of saveurs, all the flavors go really well together. This is a very refreshing drink that you would get, in the summer. This is the perfect time of year. Great prep. like I said, for juicing or for making cocktails. You could do this in advance.
So you juiced these ingredients, and why did you choose to juice them?
I chose to juice them for this application because I want just no texture. I don't want any pulp. I just want the clean juice to make my cocktail, and we're going to also make a frozen cocktail, which is why I have all this ice here. If I wanted to do it with texture, I would blend.
So for people at home, this back here, it has all the, what you call the fiber, the pulp. So now we're getting just pure vitamins, pure juice right there. Okay, so we're done with the juicing.
We are.
So we can remove, this is the neat part.
That's it. I also used mint that was, some pieces were less desirable. Anytime you're juicing or blending, use those fruits that need a little bit more love, you know? Because you don't see them once they're in there. Ready for this?
Yeah, so now we're putting the blender jug that's designed that we could juice right into.
I mean, we could taste it if we wanted to right now, but I'm guessing you want to go straight to the cocktail.
It is noon. So, well, one very important thing, well, first of all, as soon as you close this lever here, the base now knows that it's a blender. So now all the blender options are activated. There's green smoothie, there's smoothie, there's ice pulse, auto clean. I think we're using
frozen cocktail.
Frozen cocktail.
We are. We're also going to add some fresh mint that I actually want the pieces in there. Okay, so this is just the leaves. I didn't take the actual stems. I mean, it has the power. You know what? There's a little stem in there. Let's just whack it in. You'll see it's going to pulverize it, which is awesome. I hope you like tequila because we're having a tequila elixir. I mean, not elixir. Sorry, that's my next one.
And if you were doing a mocktail, is it as simple as leaving out the alcohol, or do you have to do something?
It is definitely, especially for a frozen cocktail. So you could go ahead and remove half of the batch, let's say. We're going to go light. We're not going to go too heavy. I also juiced. Could you be so kind as to pass me the lemon juice on the far? You'll see it there. Yes, I did that with the juicer before we started.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of fresh lemon juice. I'm gonna pop that in. And of course, tequila, the recipes they can get. A little bit of Grand Marnier or orange liqueur, I can say.
Yeah, so I mentioned that, I'll mention it again because often we get questions in the chat. All the recipes will be shared and the good folks on the chat will explain you how, but don't worry about that. Listen to Kim with the more interesting tips instead of scribbling down recipes. Yeah.
I garnished a couple of glasses with some tagine, which is a very accessible spice. It's a really fun trick to keep in your in your cupboard.
Right.
And you can get a little sweet and spicy chili rim, and that's going to kick everything up a notch. And now we're going to put some ice.
All right, so the ice goes in. So again, you had the fresh juice. We added a few things that Kim wanted to get the texture.
Watermelon, lime, mint, lots of ice.
A key thing to do, we're right at the full rim. That's okay, I'll rinse that. But we need to close this little thing. You only do that once if you forget to close that, because when we blend, that's gonna go. So now it's all ready, and you have the option of the presets, or you can control it yourself. Again, similar to the juicer, but we've got this fun little preset called Frozen Cocktail that I think we're going to use.
That's my bad. I like to keep things really full. There we go. It's like a party before you get your cocktail. Now, if I wanted this to be really, really like a crazy, like super frozen, I would do half of the amount of juice. It's in the recipe to say, save half of it in the fridge.
Okay.
Whack all of that ice in there. If it's a mocktail, skip the alcohol. And then you keep adding as you go.
Very cool.
Since we don't have all the time in the world, I thought it would be easier to drink as such. So ready to go? Yeah, thank you. And it's my jug. It's ready to pour straight from in here with a little extra. Here we go. And then.
So as you're pouring, I want to ask, in amazing bars.
Well, look at this. It doesn't spill.
That's awesome.
It's nuts.
In bars, in restaurants, thank you so much. How would they make these kind of cocktails? What were they doing in a restaurant?
You could do this if you wanted to.
Right? But they're blending and they're juicing separate.
So we're doing it like pre-service. We basically juice and we get everything ready. We put it in the fridges, we label it, and then we blend to order.
Right.
Things like this make you kind of want to do it a la minute, you know?
Well, it's funny that we're joking about this, but you know, everyone's a little, how should we say? They're a little lost at entertaining again across the country. People are being able to do that, which is great. Cocktails are a fun way to raise your game.
And because of how simple it is to use all of this, I personally like to do it, like I said, beforehand. You know, I can do it if I'm super busy and I have friends coming over, 5 à 7.
Right.
I'm like, it's done. This is such an amazing cocktail. It's fresh watermelon juice that I juiced myself, you know? It's that one extra little thing that makes you kind of chefy at home. Want to try it?
Chefy at home. Thank you.
You're welcome. Move mine. Could have gone.
Wow.
See? Fresh, zippy.
So how important is the fresh juice in a cocktail, even if the juice was done earlier that day?
It's literally night and day. Paramount. If you buy juice, pasteurized. There's nothing, it's incomparable.
So if we were doing it properly, we probably should have done juicing and blending, but we jumped right to the cocktail to show you the Bluicer. So at base, with the base, right now at the blender, you could use it as strictly a blender. Smoothies, peanut butter, all kinds of neat things you can blender. I made
almond butter actually the other day in there.
Very cool. But you can also use it as a juicer. You remember the juicer attachment we had? The one base, less things to store and move around in your kitchen. And then what it opens up though is this idea to do what we're calling Bluicers, which is the combination of blended ingredients and fresh juices. And there's nothing better than a cocktail.
It's literally, it's super convenient. It's a really great way to be able to do both in such a short amount of time. We just did it. Boom, boom.
We're done.
So,
and adding theater to your cocktails.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've done our cocktail, which is awesome. Now we're going to move to the juicer. Now this is the Juice Fountain Cold XL. So it's one of our many juicers in our juicer range.
I think it has the largest...
Yes, the largest capacity.
3.5, yeah.
One of the big things we do for our juicers, we want to make sure there's quite a bit of prep often with juicing and doing, so we want to make less prep possible. So you got the extra wide feed chute that you'll see. But this now is strictly a juicer. There's no blending. It is purpose built for juicing. And we're going to make, I love what you call it, an elixir.
We're going to start with an elixir. So this is, I actually do this every morning. I start off with the elixir, which is going to give you a little zip, 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 wake you up, help you to get over the booze from the day before, should you have had some.
Right.
So let's turn it on. It's always fun from the back.
And we're doing a little amount, so we actually are just using this little spout to juice right into a beautiful
I love this,
pitcher.
by the way. So cool. So a thumb of ginger, I'd say this is a rather large thumb.
That's a thumb.
To me, okay, so when we say a thumb of ginger, we literally mean a thumb.
Okay.
But this is, for the elixir, you want to get a big thumb, a giant thumb.
Okay.
Just get it in there. Nope. Washed, not peeled. Smells like hell. We're good? Carrot.
So fun doing it backwards. I'll just make the point. It's really interesting doing it backwards. You have this variable speed dial, so you can control. We did it pretty low there. Ginger and apples are usually harder. Carrots are hard too, so we can pump it up to a little stronger to get that full extraction. Again, citrus will go lighter. Very nice.
I'm gonna just pop this in here.
Apple.
Boom.
Done.
There we go.
So a lot of people think there's some complexity to juicing. I mean, this is really it. Amazing, neat.
We could have put some herbs in here. Some people put coriander. We could put turmeric. We can put all kinds of additional healthy additives. We can even juice fresh turmeric. It's so cool.
Right.
This is the elixir.
And then what do? You mix it?
Nope.
Not even? Okay.
I just gave it a little mix.
So you did this every morning?
Every morning.
So why would you not blend that for your elixir?
The same reason. I absolutely want this to be a juice. I do not need the fibrous properties of the items that I put in here to get the health benefits from it, okay? So if I needed the health benefits, or if I was really, listen, juicing and blending, it's good to switch it up.
Absolutely.
You know, if you stick to one or the other, your body is missing some of the things that it needs. In this case, getting the juice from the ginger
is what you're after.
Is what I'm after. The carrot, obviously super healthy. The apple is helping me keep it a little bit less strong. Use a pear if you find it. If you need it to be even sweeter, you could put pear. You could put mango. Right. And the idea is to get the gist of this without being stuck to the ingredients. So the lemon and the ginger is the base. Right. Cayenne. I'm gonna wake you up. You ready?
Yes. And, the cayenne goes after.
Oh yeah, it goes in. I mean, let me mix that for you.
Okay, so this is
otherwise you might sneeze. And we're just gonna take this in one shot if you trust me.
Okay.
Okay, so it's just carrot. I mean, you should trust me. It's carrot, apple, ginger, and lemon.
The elixir.
The elixir, and this is gonna keep you healthy. Cheers. Ready?
Cheers. Thank you.
Boom.
I taste the thumb.
How good is that?
Ginger. No, it's very good. And what Kim said we love is that it's not about recipes. have fun with these things.
Absolutely.
We said fresh was one of our themes. Right now, we're lucky in Canada that fresh right now is amazing, right? And it's only going to get better all the way through September, October. Try different fruit, try different vegetables, and there's no real right proportions. Lime or a citrus, the ginger, the turmeric, apples and sweeter things will give you more sugar. And it's just a lot of fun.
And I'm so into not wasting stuff, so it's really important to go ahead and anything that looks like it's not, you don't want to eat it anymore, juice it. It's the best way.
Actually, really. I have a little thing that I keep in the fridge of leftover things that can go into the
back?
juicer, and then you get
but even
of the fruit. But the back's a good point.
Super
I'll just
smart.
move this out of the way to show. So when you do juice, the fiber, as we said, and it's not because the fiber's bad. Sometimes you want the fiber, and we'll talk about the blending, but you have this here. So a lot of people are like Kim, they're conscious, well, what about this? So I'll give you 3 quick things. One, if you compost at home, you should compost at home. If you do, it's the best. The best kind of compost to add, so there you go. Never put this in the garbage. Other things you can do, some people have a whole business of getting the individual fibers of different things, like carrots. So if you're really particular, you could just do the carrots and the ginger, or this stuff is great. Some people make dog food with it.
I was just going to
Some
say,
people
my
thicken
sister makes
soups.
dog food. I mean, that's the kind of thing. Yeah, you can do all those fun things.
It turns your kitchen to a bit of a laboratory, and you have fun with it.
We
have one more.
I was like, where are you going with that?
Sorry.
Gotta make some delicious green juice now.
All right, so we did an elixir. Apologize.
Yeah, we did. That's okay. We did the elixir, and I mean, did you take 1 sip or 2 sips of the cocktail?
I think I only had 1.
So I think that we have the other attachment for the blender. For the jug. Or are we going to use just my jug here?
No, we'll use the actual jug.
Yeah.
So this little attachment's nice if you're doing a small amount. If you're just doing a little bit, but it does come up. You've got it.
The big one.
So,
and this is a lifesaver. Because again, for me, it takes 2 seconds to juice this in the morning. I unfortunately still live alone right now, but let's say I didn't and I was getting ready for work before someone else.
Right.
I would make my big jug of juice, have my glass, throw it in the fridge, leave a note for my kid, my husband, whatever. And it's like, you can never have too much fresh juice.
And we'll just show you this quickly. So it comes with the store and seal. So, it
it
depends on
doesn't
the
even
freshness
oxidize.
of
Exactly.
Freshness of your ingredients. We say sometimes 5 days. This is fresh juice. There's no preservatives, but generally 3-5 days, depending on what you used in there. And the store and seal keeps it as fresh as.
If anything, you just give it a little stir, and
there we go.
After a couple of days, of course.
So we did our elixir.
I'm gonna do this one on my own.
Okay.
Step aside, Brian. Step aside. So now we're gonna do our lean green morning machine.
All right.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So you've done that. That was just a quick pick me up.
That was just a quick pick me up elixir. Again, I always make a little bit extra, keep it in the fridge, have it for a couple days. You trust me, right?
100%.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna put it on fast, and I'm gonna start with my entire watermelon. Yeah. So I'm gonna take pineapple. Sorry, I'm gonna take it a little bit closer. I'm trying to do everything backwards. So this is gonna bring the sweetness.
Yes.
Smells good, huh? Every time I juice, I'm always like, Then I got my lemons, peeled again, no skin.
Okay.
Extra careful with the acidity, the bitterness of the pith.
Yes.
All of them go in there. Ready for this? Wow. I love it. I love putting whole things in there. It's like my favorite thing to do. So, again, celery, this one was looking a little drab. I just took off the base,
yes.
Very little waste. And there we go. Boom. I could have put it higher to make it go faster,
yep.
But you know.
Your call.
And I'm sticking so much in there. Usually you can't do this with other juicers. Gorge. Okay, so now I just wanted to mention that if I was juicing watermelon like that, I keep saying watermelon, pineapple like that, I could use that pineapple juice to marinate something like meat to tenderize it, because people don't really think about using juice for stuff like that. Like when I juice to marinate, it's more to cook, like a ceviche with scallops or with shrimp or with fish.
So
and you can do a plethora of juices instead of just like lemon or lime. You can use all different types of citrus.
So that's a really good point, because a lot of people ask, well, what else can you use the juicer for?
This is another big, huge.
That is a thought.
We're gonna use a bit less.
Marinades, different things. So we'll talk about some different tips for marinades, but yeah, the juicer is a great tool for that, as well as juices, obviously.
Correct. So I got my green machine. I got spinach. I got a bunch of.
How's that pitcher doing?
It's doing good. It's because it has a lot of little bubblies, but it's not going to overfill. Don't worry. I'm going to put 2 cups. We're very good with the pitcher. You can see it on this side.
Awesome.
An apple. Let's cut that in half.
No, I can go in there.
You think I can squeeze it in there? It went in! All right, so now we can turn that off. I'm gonna have more spinach. If I had a head of romaine that was like dying to be used,
you would juice it.
It would be in there. Okay. If I, and just remember like beets. There's people obviously know juicing, but as soon as you put something that has a really strong flavor, that's when it can take over the rest of the batch.
Yes.
So like I wouldn't put a head of coriander or a bunch of coriander in my green juice, but and also colors.
But you'd put a thumb of ginger.
I'd put a thumb of ginger, and I wouldn't put a whole carrot because then it would just get this like color of less green, more brown.
Yes.
I like to eat with my eyes, drink with my eyes, so no brown. So when I go with something like that, I use like nice beet juice, and it's purple.
So this is a juice. This
is my juice.
Amazing, a lot of different ingredients.
Just gonna close it so that I don't spill any already. And
so you see that friction tight, just to make sure that when you're storing it, it's making sure there's no oxygen.
This is open spout. Okay.
There you go. So now you're good to pour. Are you trying to pour?
I would like to pour, but I'd like to just give it a little swizzle
first. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll close it up.
There we go.
So we don't have any.
There we go.
There you go.
Are you gonna throw me under the bus? It's gonna work. Okay, cool. See, can I turn it upside down, you think?
Yeah.
Woohoo! There we go. I could have just used a spoon, but look at that. And now, of course, if I really wanted to be cold, I'd have to use all of these fruits and veggies cold. If I want to cool it down later, I prep this in the morning. I'm an early riser.
Yeah.
Open spout right on top. Kimberly, just watch the open spout. There we go. And now we're going to taste the juice. Excited?
Perfect. And a good point about the coldness. Often people put a cup of ice and add it right too, but yeah.
I prefer it this way. Plus, this is the 30 minutes of rapidity. Makes you kind of a little bit spilly.
So this is our green juice. So again, how would this fit in with your elixir?
This is after my elixir. So first I drink the elixir and then I drink the green juice.
Okay.
Hold on a second. It's open on the side.
There we go.
It's open.
This is a very nice full.
Perfect.
Full
it
quantity.
Is. It was actually 1.8 liters. So that's a 2-liter jug, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I think my pineapple today was just a smidgen bigger. I'm not mad about it.
So while we
More
have
juice.
this, tell me more at so summer cooking often for a lot of people means barbecuing. Cheers, thank you. Marinades.
Oh, how good is that?
And it's not too sweet.
No, and the ginger that I put, especially now that I've smoothed you over with the elixir, you barely taste the ginger in this one.
I'm desensitized. But for the marinades quickly, because that's a nice way that people can change what gets redundant with barbecuing, even vegetables or fish or meat.
Right.
What are some rules of thumb that you have with marinades?
Rules of thumb are the longer you marinate something, the more it's going to permeate whatever it is that you're marinating. So when I was just talking about the juice and making some type of a ceviche, you don't want to prep that long in advance because you're just going to have a cooked fish or a product. You can use the young coconut. I had some young coconut, scooped out the inside. I was so inspired. So I kind of did like this really fun agua fresca with cucumber and pineapple, and I marinated it in there, and it was just really, really good. The colder, the better when it comes to stuff like that. So with marinades, what I like to do is, let's say an hour before, if anything.
Okay.
You can use like a brush to lack stuff with your marinade.
Even with a meat?
You have to be conscious of what you're using. If it's red meat, yes. If it's chicken and anything that's like poultry or pork, you don't want to use that. You can just keep a little bit on the side and don't mix it with the meat, and then use it thereafter. That's just to lack it if you'd like. Right, so that's a fun way to do it. So another thing is you can have a recipe that's versatile, like this chimichurri that we're gonna make. I do so many different variations of this, and it is a sauce, a marinade, a dip. We're gonna turn it into a dip. It's really I mean, it's like 5 recipes in one.
So we've just showed you bluicing, which is the best of both worlds. Then we just did juicing with the elixir of the juice, talked about marinades. Now we're gonna move to blending. A lot of people know blending. So this is our Super Q blender. So it is our super blender. So you can have everything from mill flour, obviously make smoothies. We're gonna make a
chimichurri.
And
then a dip without cleaning the blender.
Right, less work.
So much fun. So basically we're going to start, just have to move something here a little bit. Get this out of the way. Okay, so again, rule of thumbs, there are none. But in this particular recipe, I like to use 2 to 1 coriander to parsley.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put in 2 bunches of coriander.
So this was my question. So this is 2 bunches.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you were asking me how do you know what a bunch is, when you go to the market and they sell it to you in a pack, that's a bunch. Okay. And you know, with the blending you can use the stems and all, which is amazing.
For parsley and coriander?
For parsley and coriander, especially, again, it depends on what you're gonna go for, because I'm not gonna pulverize this till smooth.
Right.
It's gonna be a bit chunky, so I definitely don't wanna go with too much of the thicker stems, which is in the parsley, so I'm just gonna take the tops for this purpose. Okay, so this is an Argentinian-ish chimichurri base. There's all different kinds of chimichurri. Different countries say, well, I like this one the best and this one is the best. I learned this at an Argentinian restaurant. The chef was kind enough to share his recipe. And
so again, unlike the juicer, we have no decharge. Everything that's in the blender will stay in what we're making.
Yeah.
So all the fiber, everything.
Correct. I'm gonna give it, and this can be made and kept in the fridge with a little film of olive oil on top for a very long time. It's like a pesto, if you will. So you make it once, you use it a bunch of times. It's really, really versatile and helpful. Water. I just want to because I want to make sure that I have all of my liquids in there. Want to put the top on? We can start with that. I mean, we can keep going. We could also give this a little buzz, and then get our pepper in after. We can put the pepper in now. Let's give it a buzz. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and give it. What I like about this is the. Need to go on one side and the other. There. Oh yes, thank you. Thank you. So, very important tool. Can add some more water too. Hold on. I got 2 liquids to put in here, so that it's just gonna help buzz it up. I'm using red wine vinegar.
This is it's named the pusher, just to push everything down a little bit. But you'll see the vortex start to form here as we add.
It's gonna take a second, I'm sure. I actually want to stop it for a minute. Perfect. Okay. Now, I'm gonna add.
Here we have a real nice tight feel. There we go.
We're gonna throw in some fresh red pepper.
So you do those ingredients first alone, just to get.
You know, you could. You definitely want to make sure that you put your herbs and your
smell
veggies.
That. Wow.
You smell it right away. You definitely want to put your liquids in at the beginning. If you try and it's great that we have the paddle, but you still need to give it it's just air in there with it, right? So it needs something to help pulverize it. We're gonna go and make this one a tiny bit spicy with some red chili flakes.
Okay.
Okay, I only put half of the red pepper in there. You could put garlic in here if you want. We did red onion for this preparation. Okay. Let me see, a little bit of salt. All right. And you can put the lid on again.
And we need to we'll put this back on.
Yeah, because we're gonna add we're gonna taste it, which is very important. We're gonna blitz it again, taste it, and if we're happy with the seasoning, we're gonna add the oil. So I like pulsing it; gives me control. I mean, it's already brown. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
There is no more sign of the red pepper.
Right.
So now.
So you're adding olive oil?
Correct.
What are you looking for now?
I am looking for a consistency that is similar to pesto. There you go.
So just to show you that quickly, she had it on pulse, so it was just pulsing. You can use it to crush ice. She could have used some of these pre-programmed or controlled it exactly here with this variable knob to get it exactly as she wanted.
Right. So now, I'm going to taste.
Yep. So we're going to...
Before I decide that it's ready to go. And this, I've used this, I mean, you can serve this along. So you could put a jalapeno in here if you want to go hot.
And?
Needs a little bit more salt.
Okay.
It's got a lot of...
When you're adjusting, is it the acid and the salt that you're adjusting?
So good. Yes, I'm going to put a little bit more vinegar. This, you can eat this with fish, meat, steak. Today we're having it with tofu and paneer. So one vegetarian and one vegan option.
If there's one thing I've learned, if there's ways to spice up what is it fish? Is it grilled veggies? Is it meat? It's sauces, it's dips.
Absolutely, and this is why I love this sauce, because I find, I'm just gonna give it one quick pulse. That's all I need. There we go. I'm sure that's it.
And then how long would you keep this for?
I would keep it, first of all, you can use it immediately.
Yes.
And you can keep it in an airtight container like a mason jar. And you want to always put a little film of oil on top and keep the top very clean.
Okay.
Every time you use it, you put that oil on top again. That's what's going to separate any bacteria from permeating. Always use the same spoon, a clean spoon. Like if it's on the table and everybody's digging in there, you want to really just portion, but it's easily a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It really depends on how. I'm guessing you want to try it too.
Yes.
So you're going to find the little hint of sweetness in there. That's because I decided to do a bit of a red wine vinegar with mango in it, just for that extra kick.
That is amazing.
Right?
So again, you'd put this on a steak, you'd put this on grilled veggies, you'd put it on chips.
Well, how about you do this?
Okay. So what is this here?
This, you don't have to put it all in your mouth at the same time and grab a bite. This is actually grilled paneer. I just grilled it upstairs. It's cheese. It's got that sauce on it. You see how it goes with that? Napkin here. There you go. So this would be the chimney. So this is ready to go. I'm going to put it in this bowl. I could add more olive oil at this point. I could leave it exactly as is. If you add honey and you add some basil, I mean, there's oregano, there's all kinds of fun things that we can add in here. It can even turn into like a green goddess.
So it's amazing that we're already half an hour, but that's okay. We're going to keep going. We'd keep Kim for a few days. But what we want to mention, a few quick things we did not use, but we could have. With all of our blenders and the Bluicer, we have a vacuum attachment, which is basically blending under vacuum. It removes the air. What does that do? Well, less bubbles. It heightens the colors, the flavors.
First time I've ever seen that before, by the way.
And we're actually have a promotion right now with Hudson's Bay that if you buy any one of our blenders or any one of the Bluicers, this is about $130 value, $140 value. It will be given to you for free. You just need to register your product. So it's a very neat promotion that we'll give more details in the chat. And it's called the vacuum attachment. But here what we're going to do is, so we made one thing. We did not clean. Kim was very strict about not cleaning.
Because it's part of the next recipe. Keeping what is in there makes the whole recipe. I mean, I just added about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. I added a pinch of dry oregano. I'm going to put in a ripe, let's hope it's ripe. We're good. And we're going to put in a half of an avocado, and we're going to turn this into a delicious dip.
So you weren't even like measuring how much was left. You just didn't clean the jug, and you know there's remnants of the...
I could have taken out even more if I wanted to. I did save some on the side. I could have taken out more. I want this to be super, super herbaceous. So I just want to wipe my hands. And let me see, did I forget anything? No, we're good. Just a tad more salt. I put some yogurt in here. I could use vegan yogurt, and then it's a vegan dip. Okay? And now, sorry, here we go.
One thing you might notice.
Didn't mean to cut you off.
No. One thing you might notice is if you've been around blending or super blending, it's very loud. But our whole lines of Super Qs, we've decoupled a few of the mechanics to try to make it less loud.
Did you want to show that part?
What, doing the vacuum?
Yeah. I mean, we have the vacuum attachment on.
No, I think...
Okay.
So you'll notice the blender is a lot quieter, which we think is important. And all three of our blenders, this is, of course, the Super Q. Amazing. So this is, what are we calling this? This is our
Kimmy Chimmy dip.
What I love about this is showing, though, not just creativity, but thinking about not wasting. When you're making things, you can think about something else you can turn something to. And the blending.
Can put a cute little garnish, just threw some sumac on top, some fresh pomegranate, and then grab a chip, and you can take a taste of that, and then you have an actual chimichurri, which could be a marinade. It could be a marinade. It could be a sauce. It could be a dip.
To marinate, again, you would just, depending on what you're cooking with, immerse whatever you're...
Make it exactly the same way, and you would immerse it in the green sauce and then put it straight onto the barbecue. Amazing. I would do that with plant-based things. You could even cover vegetables with it and put it on the grill. It could be the before or the after.
And again, you're not juicing that because you want all the texture.
You absolutely want the texture.
Right. So as Kim said, it's not like one's better or the other. It's just different applications. So I cannot believe in 30 minutes and change, we just made a cocktail, an elixir, a green juice, talked about marinades, and then made a dip.
Yeah.
First a chimichurri. Amazing. So we could keep you forever, but we're going to have to wrap it up. Two quick things I want to mention though is, first of all, you see different colors. We have our luxe colors, what we call. So stainless steel is the classic, but on a whole bunch of our products, we have all different colors. This is our sea salt white. This is our black truffle. We have about 5 other colors, damson blue.
This is your stainless.
That's stainless. It's fun to match, or some people who just want to have a punch of color with one espresso machine or oven. So that's a nice thing to show.
I like to have this as a punch of color in my kitchen.
There's the punch.
Yeah.
Vacuum promotion we talked about. So again, this is right now if you buy a blender or a Bluicer. What I'll do now is, as you give maybe any closing thoughts about this kind of stuff and what really you enjoyed, I'll just see if there's any questions that we'll take if anybody wanted to ask something to Kim specifically.
Absolutely. I personally think that the most fun part about these particular ones that I used this time was A, how quiet they are, B, how versatile they are, and how you can really start just try anything. You really have to get comfortable with the product, and you can't really make any mistakes. If you start juicing a juice and it's a little bit too sour, throw another apple in. If there's not enough ginger, throw some more ginger, and you can always add, not take away. That's a little bit harder. And again, the cocktail prep in advance, especially if you have guests over, it's just really useful and helpful to get things going a little bit faster.
Absolutely.
And in advance.
One question that we have, and we're gonna close it off, but somebody had asked about milling flour. I think I'd mentioned that. Have you ever done anything in blenders like that where you've?
I have not yet tried to mill flour, but I can see how it would work. I mean, I did do almond butter.
Right.
It was awesome. I did some almond milk. That was also really cool. I have not yet milled. That'll be something that I gotta try.
But almond butters, those are really, that's something, again, once you tasted fresh peanuts or whatever, walnuts.
You just don't really ever want to go back to the store-bought stuff, and you think to yourself, wow, I can just make it, keep it in the fridge, in the jug for the almond milk. You know what I mean? It's really awesome.
So listen, just to wrap it up again, just real quickly, first of all, thank you, Kim, for having us in your house, even though outside it's now beautiful. But everybody at home, listen, different parts of the country at different phases, but we're opening a little bit, able to have people over, so it's real fun. Hopefully you saw a little bit about why you might want a juicer or a blender or something called the Bluicer that does a bit of both and helped you with that. And last thing I just want to say, we mentioned again that restaurants been tough, fun to make stuff at home. I know personally I've been in restaurants for the first time in a little while. There's nothing like it. Big special part of our culture. So make stuff at home. That's great. Also go to a restaurant and rediscover how nice it is to be served. But I think on that note, again, thank you to Hudson's Bay for the platform. On behalf of Breville and Kim, hope you have a nice day. Thanks for fitting us into your lunch.
A nice healthy day.
Nice healthy day.
Cheers. Juice.
Oh, no,
or cocktail, whichever one you want. Yum, yum, yum.